Every bout of cold, every bout of cough is actually a method by which the child has primed itself to agents in the environment. Today, you give a round of antibiotics or cold medicine or something. For 4 or 5 days, the child is not going to eat. Immediate short-term impact. The short-term impact lasts about 2 months. Then how long do you wait for this to get better? And then that's when parents start to worry, why is he not eating? What's happening? And why is he only asking for milk and not eating vegetables? And you start thinking that you should hide the vegetables and give, but you don't realize that it has come as a short-term impact of something that you gave.
Medicines earlier on in the first 1 year, right? So, and typical ailments would be cough, cold, wheezing. So, what would you say are the long term impacts of all of this medication on a child and how the delaying of it makes it better for us?
It's very simple. It is only to know that each of these things, every episode of every bout of cold, every bout of cough is actually a method by which the child has primed itself to agents in the environment. Okay, we can't abort those processes. If there is no wheezing, if there is no high fever, if there is no distress, the child is sleeping fairly okay, wakes up a couple of times, shouldn't be considered a red flag. Child is eating well, smiling. Child is smiling means don't do anything. The minute the child stops smiling and becomes really dull and lethargic, that's when you need to worry a little bit, maybe get a couple of opinions and then sit and relax. But as long as the child is playful, don't do anything. The short-term impact is that today you give a round of antibiotics or cold medicine or something. For 4 or 5 days, the child is not going to eat. Immediate short-term impact. The child's bowel movements will be affected. There'll be loose motions or constipation, a lot of gassiness. And following that, for a month or so afterwards, they don't seem to have the same taste in their mouth.
Yeah.
Right? So for the short-term impact lasts about 2 months. And then what do? Then how long do you wait for this to get better? And then that's when parents start to worry, why is he not eating? What's happening? And why is he only asking for milk and not eating vegetables? And you start thinking that you should hide the vegetables and give, but you don't realize that it has come as a short-term impact of something that you gave. So therefore you have to evaluate whether that is absolutely necessary and can the child get better without it. We all got better without it. There's a whole generation of people that did not receive it and they reached in their 80s and 90s and they're okay. Yes, there were a few who suffered, but now we live in a time of information. So don't go only by one opinion. Take 2 opinions and figure out the best of 2. Have an alternative opinion as well, and then understand how important it is to treat that particular episode. With post-vaccination, because I've worked with Dr. R. Kenneth, he would say, let that fever is what? It's an indication of antibody production. So allow that fever to be, to ride it out. So unfortunately, a lot of the people, I think, one thing that comes to my mind is most moms say that I don't know what will happen in the night, and I think they're worried about that. But I think you should get the reassurance from your practitioner. And then, one night of disturbance, next night, everything will be okay. So it's a trade-off. What are you willing to trade off? I would always weigh that option first, right? Is it my sleep and my work that is more important, or is it my child's gut microbiome that is more important?
For parenting tips, celebrity interviews, recipes, conversations with experts, DIYs, and lots more. Subscribe to Kids Talk Press now.